Hey, you guys, and good morning from Boulder, Colorado. We've had a pretty eventful morning this morning. Since yesterday, actually been getting a lot of text messages from folks asking if everything is okay. We had a big shooting in one of the local supermarkets, which is pretty unusual for a quiet university town like Boulder. So yeah, so it's been pretty stressful morning, but we're moving on with the second week of our book launch. So for those of you who've been missing this, my new book is out, Overcoming Estrogen Dominance. The whole of last week, we've been doing a lot on education on what is estrogen dominance, what are the symptoms, who is this going to help. And one of the things that's come out a lot in these live videos is you guys asking us about supplements. So the whole of last week, I really wanted to focus on education and focus on food, focus on herbs. I was doing a lot of cooking demos. So I hope you caught all of that. And if you haven't, it's all good. We have everything posted on overcomingestrogendominance.com/events. And it's a great website that really captures everything there. So in this week, we wanted to move forward with supplements and talk a little bit more about what supplements can help you. I'm not a big fan of you overdoing supplements and taking too many supplements unnecessarily. It's not only expensive on your budget, but it's also I think there's so many more things that you're introducing to the body for the liver to process. So I'm pretty conservative when it comes to supplements, and I want to show you what are some of the baseline supplements that I take personally as well. And but more importantly, I think it's going to be interesting for you guys is that we are doing a flash sale. So all the supplement kits are going to be 20% off, and you can get them when you go to. It's just really simple. You can shop our supplements on wellena.com. So Brittany is going to also post the link in the comments. That's our supplement store in case you're new to our community. And and so this morning an email went out with a number of different kits. I want to go over those, but I want to just tell you that when you get the book, right, go to overcomingestrogendominance.com, the website, and enter your email address, and we'll send you a $50 gift card with the book. Okay. So when you combine it with a 20% discount on the supplements, it really is. I think it's even better than Black Friday. I know it's even better than a Black Friday deal. So I hope you guys can take advantage of this. And we always get questions about, do we do discounts and sales? And we very rarely do. We do Black Friday, but this is really your opportunity. If you want to try a kit, then this is a time to try it. And so I just want to reemphasize, when you get the 20% off kits, on top of that, you can also apply the $50 gift card, okay? So it's not one or the other. There's no minimal purchase. A lot of times it's like you have to buy $300 to claim a discount. We don't do that. We'll just do, a straight up deal so that you can really try our supplements. And, I talk a lot about in my book about quality of supplements and how important it is. Not all supplements are made the same. I'm going to just, as I'm walking you through the different kits, I'm going to highlight a couple of things. So if you have a preferred brand, I'm really happy to that you are, you don't have to buy from us, buy from anywhere else. Oh, my doggies. Buy from anywhere else. Hey, quiet. But make sure that the quality is really is of high quality, okay? And I'm gonna give you a couple of tips as I'm going through things. So let's start off with maybe the first kit that I wanna emphasize today, and that's the Estrogen Reset Kit. So that's what I have on the table right here next to me. And the Estrogen Reset Kit contains three things. It contains Broma Power, which is sulforaphane. I'm gonna talk about it in a second. It contains calcium diglycerate, and it contains DIM. Now, this kit has been designed for you to give you a full estrogen reset, estrogen metabolism, a complete estrogen metabolism opportunity. Now, when I say complete, it means that it supports your liver detoxification phase 1 as well as phase 2. Now, that's really important because many of you have estrogen dominance. You've heard of DIM. Many of you say like, oh yeah, I've taken DIM. And we get consistently comments from our readers saying that I've taken DIM and it helped me a little bit for a short period of time. Some women say it didn't make a difference at all. And other women will say it actually made me feel worse. And so the question is, and so a lot of people go like, Why does it happen? Like, I'm taking a supplement everybody says is great for estrogen dominance. Why is it happening? And the answer to this is because DIM upregulates your phase 1 liver detoxification. And in the liver detoxification spectrum, you have phase 1 and phase 2. So DIM upregulates phase 1, but then at the same time, you don't have anything else to support, or you don't have sufficient nutrients from your current diet, which also not easy to come by, and you'll see in a minute why, to upregulate your phase 2 liver detoxification for that estrogen tend to be bound up and evacuated through stool. You literally poop hormones out. And so this is where calcium D-glucarate and Broma Power, which is also known as sulforaphane, are the two supplements that make the big difference. Now, calcium D-glucarate is an amazing compound. And by the way, this is not the kind of calcium that you use for bone strength. Okay, calcium is just a delivery mechanism for glucarate, so glucuric acid, which is hugely important, is one of the binding components in the glucuronidation pathway in the liver. So in phase 2 liver detoxification, there is a few pathways. There's a few streams, that, if you will, that are responsible for breaking down estrogens. And that will be methylation pathway, you have your sulfation pathway, you have glucuronation pathway, and there's a few others. And so those 3 pathways are hugely important in helping you bind up those remaining estrogens and evacuating them out of the body. So this is where calcium D-glucarate can really come in. My first experience with calcium D-glucarate was, and how powerful it was when I went to surgery. I had a pretty massive surgery 3 years ago. I had a double hip replacement on the same day, and not something that was avoidable. And let me tell you, I fought really hard not to have that surgery. But my good friend, who's a functional doc, but she used to be an emergency room physician, she said to me, take calcium D-glucarate before and after, because it's going to bind up all the junk, all the toxins, all the toxic medications they're going to put you on, while you are doing. And it's so true that I had barely any side effects from all the drugs, and I recovered really, really quickly. So, and then Broma Power is a really fascinating one. So this contains standardized sulforaphane. And so if you have, sulforaphane, I just have so much appreciation for sulforaphane, as it's not only, there's research, and I'm citing all of those studies in my book, Overcoming Estrogen Dominance. If you look at the back, sulforaphane, you guys, actually kills stem cells of a cancer, right? How amazing is that? And so, but it goes beyond that. It's hugely anti-inflammatory. It helps with phase 2 liver detoxification with the sulfation pathway, because guess what? Sulforaphane comes from broccoli sprouts. Okay, and the reason why we standardize it here is because sulforaphane is infamously unstable. It degrades really, really quickly. So it needs to be standardized, so it's guaranteed that, for example, you have 6 or 7% standardized sulforaphane. If you are buying sulforaphane from any other brand, take a look at the back of the label and see whether it says whatever percentage standardized sulforaphane. Now, some of you might ask, hey, what about broccoli sprouts, right? Why don't I just do broccoli sprouts? So one of the very sad things, and I talked about it during the videos, what I did last week for our book launch, is that one of the very sad things I have discovered with our formulators is that we've come across a study that researched, and not just researched, but actually measured the amount of sulforaphane found in broccoli sprouts that were found anything from farmers markets, organic ones, all the way to Walmart, if you will, right? So, and everything in between. And there was no consistent conclusion that you might say, oh, organic broccoli sprouts contain more sulforaphane as versus those ones that are, that are not organic and then coming from, maybe not the best sources. There was no such thing. It just varied. It was all over the place. And so basically that could mean that the broccoli sprouts you're getting, or even growing yourself, you're getting from a health food store, if you're growing yourself, could contain great amount of sulforaphane, but it could also be that they were going to be really, really little. And the spread was really, really, really broad. When I looked at the table, I was like kind of disappointed, to be honest with you. So if you really are and so first of all, please do not stop eating broccoli sprouts. That's not what I'm saying. Always have them, on your salad and soup and such. They're still amazing. But if you are suffering from estrogen dominance in a huge way and you are struggling with all the symptoms, right? And if you guys want, I can do a quick recap of the symptoms in a second. You know, then if you have, for example, a history of breast cancer, you don't want to have occurrence of estrogen receptor positive breast cancer. You know, if your symptoms are really like not going away even with a change of diet, this is where the supplements come in. Now, always remember that any supplements that I'm showing you here today always are going to work a lot better when you combine it with anti-inflammatory diet. And this is really what the book is for, that supplements alone are not going to heal you. Food is going to be the first thing. It's going to set the foundation. We have lovely recipes for you right at the back of the book, over 50 of them. So showing you how to eat. But if you combine this with the anti-inflammatory diet, really this is where the magic starts happening. So symptoms of estrogen dominance would include things like period problems, right? So painful periods, absent periods, very heavy periods, endometriosis, having difficulty falling asleep and staying asleep. And that's typically due to low progesterone levels. We're going to be talking about how to boost progesterone in a second. You could also have things like history of fibroids, history of thyroid nodules, thyroid cancer, estrogenic cancers are cancers such as uterine, ovarian, breast cancer, estrogen receptor positive, but also progesterone receptor positive breast cancer, lung cancer in non-smokers. People who have gallbladder problems are oftentimes women who started off with estrogen dominance and then the gallbladder starts having issues, or you have deposits of the stones in the tracts. And so this is, you know, this is where, combined with a clean diet, supporting the estrogen metabolism in the body can really generate amazing results. So the Estrogen Reset Kit this time around, and this is a flash sale, you guys, so it expires in a couple of days. I'm doing this on the 23rd. So tomorrow night, we end the sale. So if you want to take advantage of that, please do. You can save $33 on this. And then on top of that, we're also giving you $50 off gift card with the purchase of this book, right? So like I said earlier, this is even better than our Black Friday sale that we do once a year. So that's for the Estrogen Reset Kit. This is like really focusing on estrogen metabolism. Now I want to show you another one. Let me switch over my trays, and I want to show you something else I have for you. This is what we call the Estrogen Reset Super Kit. So the Super Kit is going to contain, let me see, I might need to move my camera a little bit. There we go. This kit contains what I showed you just now, the calcium D-glucarate, Broma Power, and I believe this is DIM, correct. So those are the three that I just showed you, right? They're the ones that are helping you with full estrogen metabolism, okay? But then the body a lot of times needs a lot more nutritional support. And personally, those are the supplements that I'm taking. And that's what we call this the super kit, estrogen. Brittany is Estrogen Reset Super Kit. And for this kit, you can save $61, plus you get the additional $50 off on the gift card. So I want to just show you what else is in it. So apart from the metabolizers of estrogen, we also have zinc here, which a lot of people think of zinc as being the something for supporting your immune system, and it's true, that's incredibly helpful. However, zinc is also essential for helping you produce progesterone. Now, you know, one of the forms of estrogen dominance is low progesterone levels. So most women who hit the mark of 45 and above, our progesterone starts dropping, and it's inevitable. You start seeing this, and you know this if your cycles are beginning to get shorter. So especially the luteal phase, so from time of ovulation until your next period, instead of being like full 2 weeks, you suddenly becoming 10 days, and then it becomes 8 days. And I'm definitely in that range as well now. I'm going definitely through low progesterone, which is going to be taking me to perimenopause. Very normal, nothing wrong with that. And I'm going to try to support my body as much as I can with nutrients to produce its own native progesterone, right? So you have zinc in here. Zinc, actually, let me just bring out the other one. Zinc together with vitamin C are incredible in helping you natively produce your own progesterone, okay? And so how do you know you have low, other than shorter cycles, women who have low progesterone will also experience things like suddenly develop anxiety for no good reason. Sleep is a classical one. Having a problem falling asleep, staying asleep, sleep is not being as deep as it was before, right? Those are some of your classical symptoms. Also having mid-cycle spotting. So instead of having ovulation, you suddenly see a little brown spotting in your panties, right? So that's low progesterone. And you can really boost it through vitamin C. I want to give you an example. When I'm recording this during time of COVID, and when COVID first came, I upped my vitamin C levels to between 1 to 2 grams a day, and taking taking our vitamin C burst. That's what the product is called, vitamin C burst, and suddenly my luteal phase became longer. From like it went up from being like 8-9 days, went back to actually being full 2 weeks. So it was pretty interesting how just by upping vitamin C, I was able to produce natively more progesterone without taking any progesterone supplementation or the topical progesterone that we sell in our store. Okay, so let's see. Let me move these ones to the back. I want to show you a couple of other ones that we have. So what I'm holding in my hand is D3 Maximus. We have reformulated that to capsules because many of you have been not liking our liquid form of vitamin D. And so now I'll just open it up. It's a new bottle. So I need to pop that. You will see it comes in a capsule like this and is suspended in oil. Vitamin D3 is mostly available, is highly absorbable. It's a fat absorbable vitamin. So it's best, again, if you're buying a supplement like D3, make sure that's in a form of, that's got some kind of a fat content, and that way you are guaranteed high absorption. So we have a nice dose here of 5,000 IUs of vitamin C in one. Some of you I know want to take lower doses, then just skip a day and do it, go on to another day. We wanted to do it on the higher doses because I have found that most people are so deficient that I would rather have you just take one pill instead of having to do 2-3 pills, and it's going to be higher value for your money. So that's D3. And then we also have B Maximus. B vitamins, you guys, are so hugely important when it comes to liver detoxification, mental health, the health of your hair, the health of your skin. Like if you're having things like ulcers on your mouth, right? If you're having issues with depression, you're feeling fatigued a lot of the time, our BComplex is amazing. We call it B Maximus because it is also fully methylated. So especially vitamin B6 and B12 are in the methylated form here. So that's another pointer for you. If you have your own favorite brand that you want to continue using, then make sure that the B vitamins are in a methylated form, both B6 and B12. So another really nice supplement here. And then one other thing, which is absolutely without doubt, so important. I don't know whether I could actually function without it, is our Magnesium Replenish. So that's a magnesium glycinate form. That is anybody who's got painful periods, you've got painful breasts, especially around part of your cycle, if you have lumpy breast, if you are having, constipation issues, the list just goes on and on and on. The magnesium is really quite essential. If you're craving chocolate on a regular basis, let me just say, you're not craving chocolate or cacao. You're actually craving cacao, because cacao is high in magnesium, okay? And many people realize that when they start taking our magnesium, then their cravings for chocolate diminishes. So one thing you want to look at again in your supplement box, if you are using other brands, is making sure that you're using magnesium in the form of glycinate. That's the most bioabsorbable form of magnesium. Malate is not too bad. Citrate will give you loose stool, and it's very hard to replenish your magnesium levels using citrate. I'm going to be talking about different forms of magnesium in just a second. But so malate, I would say, and glycinate are my two favorite forms of magnesium. The one form of magnesium your supplement should never contain, no matter what form, whether you're just taking magnesium or whether it's part of your multivitamin or any other formulation, is magnesium oxide. That's a big no-no when it comes to, so make sure you, once we finish recording this, stop the video. If you're watching this on replay, go back to your cabinet, check the supplement label at the back, make sure, and also I have found that a lot of companies, if they don't disclose what form of magnesium it is, they just say magnesium, and let's say, 300 milligrams, and they don't tell you what it is, most likely if you press them for answers, maybe go to their website or email their customer support reps, you will hear from them it is magnesium oxide. So they're kind of hiding because they know a lot of people now know a lot about supplements. So this whole kit, you guys, all of those, this is what I take personally on a daily basis. It might seem like a lot, but I feel like this is all really, really essential to make me feel good. And it's not just for my specific needs. It really is something that you're supporting your whole body, not just estrogen metabolism, but your entire body, and replenishing it back with nutrients that are super important for overall hormonal balance. So with this super kit, you can save $61. And hey, you guys, we're also doing the $50 gift card that you receive from buying the book. You're going to be getting that, and you can apply that towards the super kit as well. So I don't know how much better to make this for you to try our supplements. We are trying to make this attainable for you. I know my supplements are not cheap, but we make them with really high quality in a GMP facility where everything is measured and tested. We've got testing before it goes, raw materials testing on the final material. We don't do, I would personally never put a cheap supplement in my own body, and I would never want you to put anything that is not of the highest quality. And unfortunately, supplements are not a regulated industry. So there's just a lot of really shady and cheap and ineffective and even harmful supplements out there in the market. Amazon is cleaning up their act now, but you can still find bottle of magnesium for $5, $7, and it's just really, it's just horrible quality. Okay, so can Meg take the supplements, or is it just for women? Stacy, I would say that for men, I would not do the DIM, sulforaphane. Sulforaphane is okay, but DIM and so all of them, but estrogen dominance is in men, unless it's an issue with prostate. I wouldn't really recommend the estrogen detoxification supplements, but all the other ones are perfectly fine. Okay, let me move on to the next one. Let me just take a quick look at my notes. What is the next one? Is we want to do, let me show you the breast health kit. So in the breast health kit, we will have DIM, Broma Power, and Magnesium Replenish. Those are the three. So for those of you ladies who are having issues with lumpy breasts, and I can feel like I had lumpy breasts a number of times, and it was one of the scariest moments because you don't know what it is until you get diagnosed properly, right? So so what we have here again is calcium deglycarate. Magnesium. Okay, one more time. What we have is Broma Power, which is sulforaphane combined with DIM. So this is to support your estrogen metabolism, these two. And magnesium, I have found, is incredible. One thing I didn't mention about magnesium just now is the magnesium is a great mover. It's a relaxer. And so think of it this way, like, when you're in times of stress, what happens, right? You get shoulder, how many of us get shoulder pain here, right? And the reason is because your whole nervous system is really amped up. And so you tense up, and your muscles tense up here too, right? And like you go for a massage, and the massage person is going like, oh, you had a lot of stress here. So guess what? So magnesium is wonderful in relaxing and relaxing you overall, the whole body, calming down your nervous system, opening up the lymphatic system, helping you to evacuate properly, right? Bowel movement is so essential. And we're going to talk about this in a second. We have a special for you for the magnesium rotation method. So I'll show you some of that in a second. But what we have here then is, so the magnesium is a wonderful mover, relaxer for the lymphatic system as well, for the breast. I have found that when I stopped taking magnesium, one of the symptoms that I may have is my breast begin to feel really tender. And if I really don't take care of myself really well, happens like, sometimes, is then I start getting lumpy breast. And then I will up my magnesium levels, and it's amazing how quickly it goes away. So the breast health kit, you're saving $28 on this kit, and then we have additional $50 off for you from the book. Okay, so that's what we have for that. All right, let's see, what is the next kit that we have? Let's talk about the. Actually, you know what, Brittany, let's do the magnesium rotation one. I want to talk about that one because is one of my favorite kits, magnesiums to use. And actually, magnesium is one of my absolute favorite nutrients. So this is the magnesium. So the Magnesium Rotation Kit is basically an idea that I came up with, that looks at what does there's certain similarities of using magnesium across the board, right? It's overall relaxing. It helps you with your bowel movement. It's anti-inflammatory, supports your adrenals. It helps your liver detoxification. But there are some nuances in the different forms of magnesiums, and that's really what I want to show you. So we put them as a kit because, I call it the rotation method, because you can rotate different forms of magnesium throughout the day, getting the maximum benefit out of them. So let's start off with Mag Energy. That's the first supplement. Mag Energy is in a form of magnesium malate. And so it's an energizing form of magnesium. And I don't mean it like in a form of like the way you will have, like coffee, right? Kind of energizing, and you just go like, and absolutely not. It's more like an uplifting boost that you go like, oh, it's like, I feel really sharp and energetic and focused this morning, right? So magnesium energy is amazing for that. Malate has also been researched to show, for those of you who do a lot of exercise in the morning, it helps with a lot of regeneration of the muscles really quickly. So again, for athletes, for people who exercise in the morning, a great form of magnesium. The second, and is also the absorbability of magnesium malate is also really, really good. The second, and my other favorite form of magnesium is magnesium. Sorry, let me just reverse this way. So you start off your day with magnesium energy, and then what you do in the afternoon or evening, you take magnesium replenish. And I know you guys are going to probably be asking about dosage and how much to take. So I'm going to talk about dosage in just a second. You do something called the bowel movement challenge, and so let's cover that in a sec. So magnesium replenish is in a form of glycinate, and this glycinic acid that's attached, that the magnesium is attached, magnesium molecule is attached to, and that is research shows that this is the best absorbable magnesium that's out there. I also like the fact that it doesn't create loose bowel movement, and so it's really easy to replenish your magnesium levels with this form of magnesium without getting loose stool. I don't like anybody having too much of a loose stool, because when you get a diarrhea or something similar to a diarrhea, your body is not absorbing the nutrients that you just put in your body, whether it's from food or supplements or herbs, right? And you're just basically getting rid of everything. And that's not a good thing to do, because then you are just kind of flushing everything out too early without the body being able to absorb everything. And so that's why glycinate is amazing. One of the consistent results or reviews that we get from women saying, I switched to your brand and it makes such a big difference. Like, all my body pains and aches are gone. I'm pooping regularly. I'm sleeping a lot better. My cramps in the legs are gone. My restless leg is a lot better. So there's just so many amazing benefits overall to magnesium, and I find that especially replenish is just amazing at that. The next one, we have magnesium citrate. So it is a form of a magnesium that I use only sporadically, and it's really excellent if your bowel movement isn't very regular. The citric acid tends to absorb water from the colon and then evacuate a lot of the basically gunk out of your body, right? So causing, in the best case, a good bowel movement. In the worst case, if you overdose, then it will create a diarrhea, which we don't want. So citrate is a fairly good, not the best, but fairly good form of magnesium in terms of absorbability. I personally use it whenever I have moments of constipation, and especially when I travel. So recently that hasn't been the case because I stopped traveling, but I think once we start traveling, always keep a magnesium citrate on the side in case you do get constipated when you travel. The last one is quick magnesium. It's another wonderful form of magnesium, but this one is a topical one. So this is really helpful. Like, if you apply it, for example, every night you go to bed and you have this tendency to get really stiff muscles or something aches, and a lot of times is towards the evening that we get that kind of problem. applying this form of magnesium on your body where it hurts, whether it's your leg or whether it's your shoulder, your neck, all you need is just application for 20 minutes. And because that's all it takes to get through the dermis into the lymphatic system. Anecdotally speaking, I have found no research to back this up, but I'm just going to share this with you because it's a harmless comment and observation, is that there is a belief amongst functional practitioners that if you apply magnesium, this form of topical magnesium, you apply it on your skin and it really stings you, that could be a sign that you're low on magnesium. I don't know, but whatever. The cool thing is that, like I said, you just need 20 minutes to absorb it and then go and wash it off. That can really be helpful. For those of you who've been here with us last week, I was showing recipes on how to incorporate this kind of topical magnesium to like your PMS salve or your breast oil, where you then incorporate it together with like castor oil and some essential oils and put it on a uterus because it relaxes the uterus, it relaxes the breast lymphatic system, everything just starts moving. You're opening up the highway for the junk to get evacuated, literally. So, I mentioned just now, so let me just say, on this kit, you're saving $24.42. And on top of that, you can still also apply the gift card, $50 that you have received from Overcoming Estrogen Dominance from our book. If you don't know yet how to redeem the coupon, then post it in the comments and my team will help you out with how to redeem it. So, I mentioned just now, I will say, how do you know if you're too low? What is the dose of magnesium that you need, right? And so it's a really interesting question because it really depends on how deficient you are at a current moment. Some women are so deficient, they might need as much as 1,200 milligrams, 1,800 milligrams, maybe over 2,000 milligrams of magnesium in order to reduce the symptoms that they have, right, of low magnesium that I mentioned earlier. And so how much to dose up until you get a loose bowel movement. So let me give you an example. Let's just start off with you taking our malate in the morning. That gives you 300 milligrams, if I'm correct. Yeah, 360 milligrams, okay? So you start off your day with our Mag Energy. That's what I do as well. Then in the evening, so like after dinner, you have Magnesium Replenish. It starts relaxing your body, right, without amping it up, but it's not a sedative, so you're not gonna fall asleep. You're just gonna start relaxing. And this form of magnesium gives you 240 milligrams. So if you take this and this together, that gives you already 600 milligrams, right, of magnesium. And that's all I need, right? But I'm not deficient anymore. If you were deficient, then what you do, you start off with the doses that we have here, and then you keep going up and up and up, right? So maybe tomorrow, if you're still constipated or if you don't have a loose bowel. So the following day, you might say, you know what, I'm gonna double up on the Magnesium Energy. So I'm gonna do 720, right? So you double the dose, still maintain this one, and then again go up and up and up until you go to the bathroom in the morning and you have a very loose bowel. That's when you know that's your dose, and then you step off, you back off, and you start titrating down again to a point where you have a good bowel movement, but without a healthy bowel movement where the stool is nicely shaped like a banana, right? And you don't have, and it's not falling apart. It's not, well, it can be falling, but you don't have a diarrhea, right? You don't have a loose stool. So that's the way to know how to adjust your magnesium levels. I often get asked, why not just get it from food? And gosh, I really wish we could. I often talk about it, and I also talk about in my book that unfortunately the way we grow food these days is very different than from back in the day. We don't use manure anymore. We don't use fish bones or animal bones. We don't do crop rotation where you let the soil recover and then, grow things again. We don't do alternative crop rotations, right? So all of that stuff. So all of, our food today is very depleted. And the fertilizers that we use is called NPK, which is high in potassium, is high in nitrate, is high in phosphorus, right? But that's it, and not all the other nutrients. And that's part of the reason why so many of us are depleted. So, I mentioned that in the book. It's like for you to get, for example, 600, like what we have here, 600 milligrams of magnesium a day, this will be equivalent to having to eat a whole cup of cacao, which I don't know about you, but I have no desire to be eating a cup of cacao every day. Or it translates to like 32 avocados. So you get the point, right? Okay, let me move on to, I'm gonna get to questions in just a second. I'm just gonna do one other one quickly because I do have another call I need to show up on. Let's do the progesterone boosting kit. So the progesterone boosting kit would have our magnesium replenish, and then we also have our vitamin C, and we'll have our zinc. So you know how I was mentioning earlier that that during COVID I upped my vitamin C levels, and my luteal phase, so from time of ovulation to my period, it actually became longer, right? And so this is really the magic of vitamin C. Vitamin C, you can use the same method of dosing up until you replenish your levels using the loose stool method as well, challenge method. We call it loose stool challenge method. So like what I described just now with magnesium, when you just go up until you get a loose stool and then you back off, that's exactly what you do with vitamin C as well. And then we have the magnesium replenish. So magnesium is just so essential for progesterone production as well. Your corpus luteum, it requires zinc and vitamin C in order to produce progesterone. We also, if you additionally want to add a vitamin E to it, or foods that are high in vitamin E, vitamin A, those are the other ones that are super beneficial for those are really the four that really help with progesterone production. So with this kit, you can save $17. And like I said, you can also apply the $50 gift card that we have from the book. And all of that expires in a couple of days. I'm recording this on the 23rd, so we are ending the sale the end of the day, 24th, okay? All right, last one, our fibroid kit. So the fibroid kit, let me just take a quick look. Our fibroid kit has DIM. So let me just grab those. We have DIM, we have Broma Power, and then we have Fibro Support. So Fibro Support is a really cool, there we go. So these two, again, the same kind of similar story. These two, which is our Broma Power and DIM, will help you with estrogen metabolism. And just in case you're not familiar, fibroids are a classical symptom of estrogen dominance. I did a whole day on fibroids last week, so if you want to watch those videos, it's on overcomingestrogendominance.com/events. You can take a look at that day. We've organized it all day. Every day was a focus area. So I talked a lot about fibroids and how you can do a uterine pack on your uterus using castor oil, using liquid magnesium, but also I love topical application combined with internal supplementation and a clean diet. I think that's where the magic really happens when you combine inside and outside solution, right? So the Broma Power and DIM are there to help you metabolize estrogen effectively. Again, DIM is for phase 1 liver detoxification. Broma Power is for phase 2 liver detoxification. So you take care of the breaking down of the estrogen, which is so important because the dirty estrogens are the ones that are causing the growth of the fibroids. But then also you combine it with Fibro Support. Those are really cool enzymes, you guys, that are based on netto. And so we have nettozines and serosines. And what they do is they basically chomp down on the tissue of fibroids. This kit can also be helpful for women with endometriosis because the mechanism is very similar. Endometriosis is also a symptom of estrogen dominance. So we can get some really nice, metabolism of estrogen combined with reducing the chomping down on the tissue on the fibroids. So with this kit, you save $33. And then on top of that, you get the $50 gift card that you can also apply towards this kit. And like we said, all of the whole offer, our flash sale expires on the March 24th, end of the day, 24th. Okay, I've got time for a few questions, and so let me go over to Britton. Do you want to just maybe pop some of the questions while I'm just gonna grab a quick drink and something, and then we can. Can men use Broma supplement? My dad has prostate cancer. Yes, they can. Broma Power is sulforaphane generally is just amazing at that. What is elemental full spectrum magnesium? I don't know. So, Jill is asking, the thing is that to me, as a manufacturer of supplements, right? If I was to not show exactly what's inside there, it's almost like I would want to hide something, which obviously I don't do that because that's not how we do things at my company. But I think generally I'm of the belief that somebody is not showing all, disclosing everything, then is a little bit suspect to me. So you just have to reach out to them and ask them, what does that mean? It's a nice name. Stacey's saying, should I avoid magnesium if I have low blood pressure? Absolutely not. Magnesium does not raise your blood sugar levels. Oh, sorry, your low blood pressure. No, not at all. If anything, actually, your blood pressure is partly regulated by the adrenals. A lot of people think the adrenals are just there to pump out cortisol. That is true, but they actually have a lot of other functions. One of it is they manage your blood sugar levels. They also release a hormone called aldosterone, which regulates your blood pressure. So, the adrenals love, by the way, we have other kits on our website. If you go to wellena.com and just look at the kits, all the kits, you guys, are we doing 20% off, and then you can also apply the gift card. So I just focused on a few kits here today, which are most relevant to the book. But, we also have a kit for your adrenal TLC. And so in that kit, for example, we have magnesium. We also have vitamin C in it because that's really what the adrenals need a lot in order to function properly. So that's a part of the reason why when women who have adrenal problems get up, right, suddenly, and they go like, whoa, right, you feel like you're just about to faint. That's because your adrenals are not producing sufficient aldosterone that regulates or upregulates, in this case, your blood pressure when it's low. And that's why women with adrenal issues also often show a lot of low blood pressure issues, and that's definitely me as well. So magnesium can only help with adrenals in that. Decoree is saying, I started the Estrogen Reset Kit this week. Yeah, great. Thank you for your support, and give it like a good month or two to really feel the results of it. One other thing, just to mention, all our kits are built into as a 60-day supply, right? So of course, if you need to take more magnesium, if you need to take more vitamin C, like I mentioned, to do the bowel movement challenge, then you might need to buy them as a separate item from the store. But yeah, awesome. Can you take those along with book diet, or should you do diet first? So that's a good question. It isn't no right or wrong. If you're a sensitive person, meaning if you're doing the elimination diet, and we've already had a few people telling us that they started off the elimination diet and they're having like horrendous headaches, they're feeling really kind of crammy, and guess what? Those are all signs of detoxification, right? And because there is nothing in this book, the way I'm asking you here to eat, that's gonna make you sick. If it's making you sick, it's only because you maybe cut down your caffeine, you cut down on your sugar, you cut down on your processed foods, and it's your body's detoxing. So that's very, very normal. If you're very sensitive, then I will say start off with a elimination diet first, get that nailed down, and then incorporate the supplements. If your diet is already pretty dialed in, but you're kind of like going to the next level and fine tuning with my book, then adding the supplements right away is actually is very good to do right away. Lydia is asking, can you please talk about it, when to take DIM and sulforaphane with food or an empty stomach? So always remember, we always get these questions, and it always says at the back of the bottle how to take it. If we tell you to take it on an empty stomach, it will say so. If it doesn't tell you, then it doesn't really matter. So for example, if you're asking about DIM, I'm holding DIM up here. It says take 1 soft gel per day with a meal, okay? And then Our sulforaphane is the same thing. It says at the bottle here, take 1 capsule per day with a meal. One thing I will mention about vitamin C, vitamin B, the B complex that we have. Let me just grab a bottle. So B Maximus, one of my favorite supplements as well. And when I stop taking it, I get canker sores right there in my sides of my mouth. And I don't feel as energized. So the B vitamins, you also want to do them first thing in the morning because they can be very energizing for a lot of people. And taking them at night can be problematic. You're going to have a problem falling asleep. So those are just, things like that we don't put that on the label per se, but if like when to take it with meal or without meal, it's always mentioned on the bottle. Okay, so it looks like we're good for questions. Hey, you guys, so if you are watching this on the replay, post your question in a comment. My team is going to be watching this video, comments coming in so that we can answer your questions. I know this is a short sale window, but that's how, this is how things, are with flash sales, right? So yeah, well, thank you for being here today. I hope this was helpful and answered a lot of your questions that we had coming in earlier last week about supplements. And, I would just maybe mention a couple of other things just to wrap this up. If you're using a favorite brand of supplements and you want to continue with them, I really don't care. Just do so. Just make sure that your supplements are of high quality. So there's a couple of things to look out for that you can pause maybe this video or go back to your kitchen, pantry or whatever and take a look at your supplements. So a few things. They should never contain magnesium oxide. That's the first thing. They should not contain, if it's a B vitamin, you always want to be having your B12 and B6 in a methylated form. Okay, that's really important. You want to make sure that your supplements are free of things like gluten, corn potentially. It depends on, whether you're sensitive to corn or not. Like I'm not, so I don't really care. And by the way, our supplements some of them are corn free, but not everything, unfortunately. So we don't make a claim on corn, but again, as the amounts are very, very minute. So it's only if you have like a super big sensitivity. It shouldn't contain yeast. It should not contain, let's see what else. Dairy, that's for sure. If you're sensitive to grains, then no rice. The other thing is to look for is, you see that little thing here called GMP facility. So GMP is really quite fascinating. It's a special contract so it's a manufacturing facility that has all the documentation on batches. When things are coming in, it gets tested. It all has toxicity reports and all the raw ingredients are coming in. And then when we get our first batch of our first batch of supplements, that we send it to a lab testing to make sure that it is really gluten-free, it is free of dairy, it is free of soy. Those are the 3 things that we always test for. So GMP is really quite a good, it's a great one to look for. Like I said earlier, supplements are an unregulated industry. So it can be a real cowboy town. I'm really glad to see like Amazon now is asking us for so many different documentations and reports of tests and stuff like that, which is a real pain in the butt to be providing all of that. But I'm also happy that they're asking because it just means that they're cleaning up a lot of the supplements that are, kind of coming from cowboy towns, and they can be just outright harmful. I'll take one more question from someone here because I forgot to mention this one. It's about shipping to Europe or to Canada. So a couple of options here, you guys. Shipping of supplements is really, really difficult because of every country has got different custom requirements. And so we are just too small of a company to be dealing with something like that. And so there's a couple of options you can do. One is, Brittany, if you can post that on myus.com. So, I think first of all, the easiest thing for you to do is to learn from what I'm talking about here, and especially look also for the things that you shouldn't contain, right? And then go to your local supplement store like iHerb. or other companies maybe that are in your own native country, and then try to get that the closest possible. If you cannot, then the other one is that we have international shipping on myus.com. So I'm not affiliated with that company in any way, but so far our customers have been having great experience. So it is a forwarding company. So you basically set up an account with them. They give you a shipping address. You go and shop on our website, and then send it to yourself in a US address on your myus.com, and they will forward it to your native country. You can do that with all the kits that I'm discussing here today. The one thing I will just want to caution you of, most countries will not accept progesterone because it is a hormone. So please don't try to buy progesterone, because most likely the whole shipment is going to get returned, and it's going to be on you. So that's one easy, I think those are the two options. Try to find it locally. If not, they use myus.com. Some of our customers, what they do is they just load up on supplements, because most of them have a 2-year shelf life. So they stock up on supplements and then do a one big shipment. So they don't, they pay for the shipping forwarding fee only one time and not multiple times. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna drop off. Thank you so much here for being here with me today. I hope I have answered a lot of your questions today. And well, happy shopping, and I will see you until the next time. Bye for now.